River ahead. Recalculating. You will die. What? Are we ready?
No, but we should do this anyway.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to This Week in Quest and Chaos, where we talk about stuff that happened this week.
This is the Untitled Quest and Chaos podcast.
Did I just accidentally retitle it? Something that
we're not going to retitle it?
Yeah. Oopsie, sorry. Should I start again? Welcome, everybody, to the Untitled podcast, not called This Week in Quest and Chaos.
It's not, but we do have the WIC this week in Kickstarter.
Cool. So Thomas is here with me to talk about...
Episode 4. Finger guns.
But is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Is that how you're counting it out?
That is right.
Cool, bro. It's a surprise to me every single time what happens. Anyway, so what actually happened this week?
Last minute change of plans.
Cool.
Step 1. I don't know what is over there.
Oh God, nothing. You cannot see here. There are no show notes here. Make it up. I'm asking you, what happened last week? You got amnesia.
Did I?
Best answer to that question ever.
No, I got amnesia.
I can't believe you have... When I ask you, just, what's your name? What's your name?
I have amnesia.
Oh my God. So let's go with the show notes, because obviously you're just useless today. Useless.
What happened last week was we played some Carbon 2185.
Yeah, we did.
We defeated a vampire.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, did we?
Synth vampire. Even with your cheating, looking up the stats.
Okay, first of all, don't tell Warren that I cheat. And if it's in the book, and we all have the book, it's like cheating in D&D 5e and having the player's handbook. It's kind of like...
yeah, but the monsters are in the back of the player's
Not my fault they put it back there.
It's true. They should have had 2 books.
Yep,
we should have
exactly.
spent $150 instead of just half of that.
Yeah, this is true. We did spend about half of that just to get that book. But it was well worth it. Anyway, So what else happened this week?
There was, I'll tell you what didn't happen.
Okay.
Remdraste did not happen.
Okay.
But Ruzo did.
All right. So what are you talking about for those of us who don't watch any of the shows on this channel?
So the will they, won't they question of Remy the Fox and Andraste the Wood Elf was...
On Chaos Agents.
Okay. Was answered with...
No.
Not right now.
You know what? Which is good, because really when you look at sitcoms, as soon as you hit that will they, won't they phase, like you've got...
Once they have, it's over.
Yeah, you're done. Like you've jumped the shark. Like that season is over.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Ross and Rachel, it was all downhill after that.
Who?
Yes.
Okay. What else did we learn this week?
We learned that Kickstarter dates are fluid, and not everything launches when you think it's going to launch. Mm-hmm. But we do have upcoming news about a Kickstarter and a 2-shot that we are doing.
Okay.
But that's for a later episode.
Well, then why'd you tell me?
Okay.
So anticlimactic. What about local game stores? So we did learn something about who is doing GoFundMe, who's doing well, who's not.
Yeah. So, I mean, this really update, if we look at the show notes.
Yeah, right here.
This update is about supporting each other, right? So you guys have helped support us.
Come here, old man. Let me support you.
Whoa.
What?
Okay. Supporting each other. We want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to join us every single day that we stream. I don't know how many that is because it just blurs together at this point.
It's Thursday. Yep.
But you guys sticking with us through this remote transition, continuing to help fund our tavern upkeep and our bills here at the studio.
Which is huge, because I know lots of people in a situation where we don't have jobs anymore. we're on the brink of just holding on, going, please let this be over. Please let,
Yeah. So
everybody make it safe and sound. And then please don't, destroy my livelihood on top of that.
Right. So even with the big disruption in my income, you guys have stepped up and you're going to keep this place afloat, which is amazing. Even more amazing is one individual who shall remain nameless.
By request?
Yes.
Okay.
I
wasn't too sure if it was Voldemort or not.
Okay, so Voldemort, I guess, cat's out of the bag there. Voldemort has actually funded all of Tavern Upkeep for May.
Great. What month is this again?
We are in April.
Cool.
We've been
just gonna make a note of that.
So
write it in the
so in May, Tavern Upkeep is done. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't need to worry about it. Now, if you still want to donate, those bits and those inspirations will still go towards the characters and the DMs.
Yeah, please let's help the DMs. Nope.
But we are going to make it through, thanks to all of you guys and especially Voldemort. Mm-hmm. This individual is probably going to be like, "Why did you call me Voldemort?" Okay. Oh well, too late. Done and done. So
the only reason why this individual is called Voldemort is because you're an idiot.
What are we gonna do this weekend? The same thing we think. Yes, the same thing we do every weekend, Pinky. We're going to take over the world.
Cool. I could take over the world.
That was an awful brain. Mm-hmm. I apologize.
Yep.
That was about as good as my Mitch McTortle in the last episode of Chaos Agents, because that accent went way off the rails, much like this podcast.
Okay, so where are we?
We're
supporting each other.
We are supporting each other. You guys have supported us. We thank you so much for that. There are a lot of other people that also need support. And a lot of those are your local game stores. Mm-hmm. Right now, there are a number of game stores around us that have tried to adapt as best they could to a buy online model, ship from a warehouse.
How did that work? Because there was a point in time where I was like, call Game Castle and see if they have it, because I need somebody to just put it in my car now. Like, I'm having an emotional breakdown and I need to buy a thing to make me feel better. So
I do not know the specifics about Game Castle. Mm-hmm. I do know that early on they were, hey, we're still open, order it online, and we'll basically put it in your trunk. Mm-hmm. We also know that our local Tracy game store, Black Rowan Games, they have launched a delivery service, mm-hmm. which is absolutely fantastic if you live in Tracy or one other small town out there. Mm-hmm. You can go to Black Rowan Games, buy online. They will deliver to your doorstep in Tracy. And Mountain something?
That's on the way there too.
Yep.
On your way to the freeway.
So that is amazing. Trying to just find ways to keep afloat in this time where we know that the government is actually not going to help a lot of the small businesses. Mm-hmm. So
Black Rowan Games also, do they have a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter?
Yes. So both Game Castle and Black Rowan Games have launched GoFundMes just to keep making payroll so that they don't have to lay off their employees, mm-hmm. Or they don't have to shut down and they can make rent. A lot of these places, they're not going to be taking salaries. They're not, we don't get paid for this. And they're in the same boat where they're just like, hey, we just need to keep paying rent, get through this so that when we're done with this, we're still here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the case for a lot of game stores who are already operating on small margins, right? Yeah. Operating a game store is tough, especially if you need employees to be there every single minute, basically, that you're open, and having all of that inventory in your store. That is not cheap. For you to be like, I want this thing right now, I want to go in and buy it. They have to have bought that from a distributor already and have it on the shelf and haven't sold it. Mm-hmm. So having a game store where you can walk in, look at the stuff, buy the stuff,
discover
huge.
new things.
Yeah, see new things.
Yeah.
Garland is always telling us about cool new games. Like you guys, specifically because he knows us, is like, you guys would like this.
Yeah.
So that is
it's worth that relationship
Yeah.
as opposed to just letting Amazon dominate everything.
Right.
So our advice to everybody is
find your game store, reach out to them, check their Facebook page, check out, see if they're selling online, see if you can order and have them put them in your trunk or go pick it up at the door. Any way to help those local game stores keep in business.
Yeah, because my big fear is once we get through this, what will happen to those businesses? Will we see them come back? Will we never see them come back? That would be disappointing if I couldn't, go to the game store, look through the games, look at the books.
Yeah.
That would make me very sad.
So, yeah. So that is our request to you guys. Check out your local stores. All around the country, I'm sure that there are stores that are in need. We do know specifically Game Castle, Black Rowan Games, they have put up GoFundMes just to help them get through this. Go buy gift cards so you can give them money now to help them pay rent now, and then later on you can use the gift cards. That's a great way to do things, that you are helping without just giving money. I know I would like to purchase things, but also just giving and helping out, and we appreciate everything you guys do. So that is the big update. Thank you guys for helping us.
Yep, supporting us.
If you have the means to, if you don't, by all means, take care of yourself. But if you have the means to, make sure you check out your local stores and see how they're doing.
Absolutely. Okay, so the wick.
Finger guns?
Nope.
Beep, 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 the wick.
Please, dear God, make it stop. What do we talk about first?
Let's do this update that is that you guys can see on your screen right now. This is pretty amazing.
Is it?
It is. That is Frosthaven. What is that number? Oh my God, it just changed.
I know, it keeps moving every time we sit here and watch this thing.
And it goes up by like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the game costs hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, this is true. But you get a big box for that game.
Yeah. And yes, you're paying for the box.
So I wonder how many does that, like how many units does Isaac need to ship, basically?
Well, that is
his distributor need to ship.
60,236 backers.
Okay.
With 5 days to go. 237. 8,885,814 dollars.
That's
as of right
lot.
now. That is crazy. That is bigger than Tainted Grail. That is.
Is it bigger than Gloomhaven? Do we know?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That is far past Gloomhaven.
Well, I thought the interesting part about this is that you could also get Gloomhaven in that package. So if you scroll down, Thomas, you'll be able to see that some of the options are, the additional items that you get, but also you could actually add on Gloomhaven, which I think is a huge boon. So you could actually get 2 for the price of 1.
It's 37% off.
Yeah.
Than retail.
Okay, so maybe not 2 for the price of 1. 2 for 1.5 times the 1. Okay, that makes no sense.
That's a huge box. A lot of minis. A lot of great looking content. It looks like Gloomhaven.
Yeah, it does. Looks very much like Gloomhaven.
There's our pledge tiers. So, I mean, $60 off the game just right there is that's pretty hardcore.
Yep, absolutely.
So, wow.
Stop. We already bought this, right?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, but I'm looking. And so the pledge manager will be open up at some point, and then we can re-pledge more. No, we're not going to. We are not going to spend money on this week in Kickstarter. That is a rule that we put in place, and we're going to stick to that rule. So why don't we hit up the next one, right?
Okay. All right.
Let's Lords of Vegas.
All right. I remember this game.
So this is a board game. Ezra owns this. He actually brought it in for us to play on the stream. I love this game. I don't own it. I would love to own it, except for we put in, obviously, this rule of us not backing Kickstarters.
Okay. What? Don't look at me. I didn't do anything right now.
Okay.
What? Lords of Vegas. It's a fun game. It's not, from what I remember, I think I played it a couple times. It's not very difficult.
Right. It's pretty easy to get into.
Yeah.
You are building casinos and trying to get all the tiles in sort of one block. And you can actually challenge people. So like if you have a block with a 4 on it, like on a die, because that's how you mark, and somebody else has a 2, you each roll a number of dice equal to the dice. I don't really remember. I think that's what it was.
I don't know. We could.
But we could watch the video.
We could. I don't know. I didn't watch all of the video.
Video doesn't tell you how to play.
No, I was about to say, because that doesn't tell you how to play. And I was like, you know what? This is just pretty shots of stuff, but whatever.
Right. Actually, I really like this video. The one thing about Lords of Vegas, this is the 10th anniversary edition. It was published by Z-Man Games at one point.
Okay.
It was published by Magpie Games, I think, at another point. But right now, the rights for this game have gone back to the designers.
Okay.
So they're doing this Kickstarter. You are directly supporting the designers of Lords of Vegas.
Okay.
And one thing that they have Lords of Vegas. They have the Up expansion, which allows you to build your casinos upwards.
Okay, because I remember in Lords of Vegas, there are only so many casinos you can buy.
Yeah.
And then you take over smaller casinos, but at some point you can't make any more casinos because there are only like 7 or 10 casinos or whatever period that you could participate.
So they have that expansion that's out. You can actually buy all of this, at your local game stores right now, perhaps on Amazon. But they have come out with the Underworld expansion just for this Kickstarter. Yeah. Or this is the first time you'll be able to get it.
And what I like about this one is that if you already own the game, you can buy the expansion packs here on the Kickstarter. So it's not like you have to start from the beginning and purchase everything.
I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little stop recording on this thing.
What happened to your computer?
This is, Then we'll start recording again.
Okay.
All right. Hey, I need to get some shoots in video shoots because that's what I do, so that I can make some money.
So that you can buy a new computer.
Get a new one of these.
I do have to say though, that old MacBook Pro and that keyboard is cool. Okay.
The new 16-inch has this keyboard back.
Oh, I want a
Your
new
keyboard
one.
sucks so bad.
I know, it's the worst.
But you know what?
Okay.
Your company provided that laptop, so it's not.
All right. Yep. And I feel sorry for the sucker who gets it after me. Anyway, so Lords of Vegas. Are we waiting for Ezra to bring it?
Ezra has already backed this. He already has the game.
Yep. So,
I only play it when I'm in the same location as Ezra anyway.
And his game.
And his game. I keep asking him to bring it. This and Euphoria. He never brings Euphoria for some reason.
I don't remember liking Euphoria.
Yeah, I think in hindsight it's probably not my favorite, but it was really fun.
Do you know what Ezra, if he got all of
he already has the game. He already has the Up expansion. Okay. So I'm guessing he backed it because he wanted to support him.
Yes. And
also get the new expansion.
Yeah, because like you said, that is kind of cool that the two gentlemen, I'm like Mike and James, Mike something or another, Mike Ernst and James, I'm not even going to kill his name. Selmker.
Of Lone Shark Games.
Yep. They have their distribution rights back?
Yes.
Cool. All right. And so now they're free to distribute the game.
Yep. As their own publisher out there. The movie industry is also similar. If you notice, Criterion Collection versions of movies come out 10 years later as well because the rights to the original distribution are over and they go back to the artist who then can license them out again. So I love this. I'm a big fan of Lords of Vegas. I want to play it right now, but we just gave the box back to Ezra and we have to stream later. So I
wonder, is Lords of Vegas digital?
I don't know. It might be. We should look on something.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I digress.
That is Lords of Vegas.
Cool. What else is on your
this week
list
in
of
Kickstarter?
Favorite things in Kickstarter?
This is the Master Monk Gaming Oracle Dice Box. So we know Master Monk. They are friends of the show. TJ and his dad make some amazing woodworking products.
Yes. Ruckus uses, I'm not even going to talk about what Ruckus does. You can explain how he basically puts his butter knife in the magnetic part of his dice box to make the butter knife stand up.
Yes. Yeah. So if you tune in the show and Ruckus has his butter knife standing up, it's because of the magnets that are in that dice box. These dice tray. Yeah. These dice boxes actually fit inside that dice box for you to travel.
Yeah, because it is a dice tray that then opens up into a dice box, and then the two sides collapse together. So that's essentially why I call it a dice box.
Right. So what's new and unique about this particular dice box is that it now has a clear acrylic screen that allows you to know what dice are in there. Actually, it allows you to know what dice are in there. You can show them off all you want, but you will know what to show off because you can see.
So the intent is then to have sort of a showpiece, is what you're telling me. That was the B piece of that, right? Okay, not just just know what dice are in there.
I was looking at versions of things, and there's like, yes, we have this display case that you can also get as an add-on to display all of your dice. I don't know if they know how many dice people have. I
don't know. I mean,
dice
here's
hoarders
the thing.
Like me.
Just knowing my dice, some of them will not get displayed. Let's put it that way. We're fighting right now, and we're not talking to each other.
You need a version of these with bars on them.
Kind of.
So you can be like, no. Well, that one's in jail. That one.
These dice are terrible. I will put you on the wall of shame.
So if you looking at this video here, so that is their small dice tower with a dice case.
And that top actually is what closes the entire box together that we're looking at. So there's usually a pen in there. Yeah. I forgot what else goes in there. I think there were little small dice that I got in there as well.
Yeah, I said dice in there, the pencil.
Yeah, we've got a couple of their products floating around the office and in my house.
So these would be cool. I don't know how much. We don't travel much because we have the studio. So I don't really build this box up like this anymore. It just stays built as a dice tray here.
Yeah.
These are cool. I do want the dice tower because I really kind of like that. It's very small. It's a small dice tower. It's only like this and fits in the box. And it's not super loud or super crazy. Okay. It's of all the dice towers that I've seen, I like theirs the best, which you can actually get in this Kickstarter as well. So if you back it, you can get more of that.
Cool.
And there's the different wood types. So ash, red oak, cherry. It's always my favorite type of wood. Walnut is what we have for the our dice tray.
The light colored is kind of fun.
The maple.
Yeah, I like that.
Padauk. I don't know why this is red. My friend Leif actually built a base out of Padauk once.
I remember
like a vase.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. I remember that. Thank you for. But So what do we all own? Because don't I have a little?
Yes. So that is a different company.
Okay. All right.
Both of those are different companies.
Okay. But literally, I think right over there is. Oh, in fact, there's the pen. Yeah, there's the top.
The pencil. So
the rest of the dice tray is over there. Yeah. Because we're organized.
And it's over that way. It's actually where Ruckus sits still when he comes back.
He'll still be there with his butter knife.
So that is the Oracle dice tray. We're actually we're looking to have TJ on here to talk to him about what it's like starting a accessories company. And they do TJ's here local to us, but they do a lot of their woodwork. Kentucky?
Yes.
In Kentucky. Where Mitch is from. McTortle.
I can't believe you can't even remember that accent. Whatever.
So check that out. So these are awesome. So of this, I would kind of like the dice tower. Okay. We'll have to talk to TJ. We'll talk to TJ before we back this. There's still time. Let me go back up. There's still 20 days to go.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to TJ, see what he can do for us before we back this.
So wait a minute. So you can't just get the dice tower. It has to be a whole package of the box, the tower.
No, I think that I could just go to their website and buy the dice tower.
Oh, okay,
because they had a different Kickstarter for that they fulfilled, and now that they are past fulfillment.
So they do still have products from their old.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But they are very much a handmade craftsman system. Much like Wormwood, they are in the workshop building these by hand. This is not mass produced. So yeah, if I wanted to buy one from the web store, I'm sure that they have them, but it may not be, I might not get them right away.
Okay, because somebody actually has to whittle the wood.
Yeah. Yes.
So cool. Got it.
And it's mostly TJ's dad.
Okay. So. I just got to use the word whittled.
Yeah.
So it's a bonus today.
So that is one of the cool things we have. And then you put this thing in here. Mm-hmm. More pins. Mouse pins. These would be fighting the cat pins, right?
Sure. I mean, at some point in time.
Should we play this video and kind of see what happens?
Okay.
We'll see what happens. See if my computer doesn't die on us here.
So these are adorable little mouse pins. I think the quality is amazing. I am an idiot and thought that it was like.
Oh wait! How much is the pledge? Down. How much is the pledge?
So.
$100.
No, it's not $100.
Oh, look at that, $80 right there.
It says $80. Thomas pointed out to me that HK
is Hong Kong dollars,
which is much less than American dollars. Because at first I was like, $80, flip a table. I'm not buying a pin. And I thought about it and I'm like, okay, just calm down. Maybe it's to support the artist in other ways, shapes, or forms, you know, because these pins are amazing. So maybe it's because it's in Hong Kong that you've got to ship it. Like, I was like, okay. At first I was upset, and then I was like, $80 is way too much. F this. And then I was like, maybe I should think about other things. And then Thomas is like, oh, no, that's Hong Kong dollars. And I was like, okay, click.
It like clicked in your head that it was...
No, I clicked the thing because when you're like, it's Hong Kong dollars, I was like, sure, bye.
All right, hold on. Where is this Lords of Vegas? If we're buying stuff now on Kickstarter,
it's 11. Actually, it was total. The total was $13 US.
Okay.
It wasn't 80.
Because originally this was in the support each other, and then this was in the don't support these guys because $80 for a pin.
Don't support these guys. Anyway, but yeah, so our cat pins can now fight my mouse pin. Because I only bought one. Because remember when you said we're not buying any more Kickstarter stuff because we don't have, like, we shouldn't be spending like money that we don't have necessarily. And then it was like, yeah, and then I sneakily bought a thing.
But hold on. I need to show off the Axeman though.
I don't want the Axeman.
It's big. It's a big fat mouse.
Yeah.
It's me, but in mouse form.
As opposed to the mouse who's standing over a bowl of hot ramen with a question mark over his head. I think that's more you right there. Pontiff.
I want ramen for sure.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Me too. Oh, and I love the monk. Look at his little chin beard. Okay. Anyway,
these are super cool.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my jam, is that I thought at first I just was completely confused and thought that it was US dollars and was like, no way. You people are insane. This is not going to happen. And I was like, they're so cute though. I was just, for a second, I was like,
I mean, when you told me that these were $80 and I went and looked, I'm like, there's 8 or what is that? 6? I can't count. 10 colors in the monk?
Yeah.
10 different colors in the monk? I'm like, well, yeah, I guess $80. That's a lot of colors to do an enamel pin. We did 3 colors. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, oh, wow. I guess when you go up in price, when you go up in colors, it really adds up to the price.
But
nope. No, it doesn't.
So guess who's getting a pin and guess who is probably, I don't know, which one did I want? I forgot. Anyway, thank God I don't have to decide right away.
Okay.
The assassin is adorable. So is the archer.
The archer.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll get the archer.
Yeah, looks cool.
Anyway.
All right, so that is.
There was so much more to talk about in this week in Kickstarter, but the pirate is cute. He reminds me of that little mouse that on the Bugs Bunny cartoons where he's like,
oh yeah,
with his mustache all getting stuck. Anyway, so yeah, there were more things to talk about on this week in Kickstarter, but I think we just decided to talk about these 3.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I promise.
That is going to wrap it up for this week in Kickstarter.
And I didn't buy anything else this week. Promise.
Nice. I did not back anything. Mostly because it doesn't make sense to, because as they're already backed Lords of Vegas and he already has the game, and I can just ask to borrow it.
Cool. All right. So what's our big topic this week?
What are we
doing?
Topic is a throwback interview. Talking about Twitch streaming, life, theater with Tasi Alabastro. Cream Bananas on Twitch. Recorded before the shelter in place.
Yep, we all hung out here.
And recently found on a hard drive.
Not going to talk about your organizational skills, sir. Not at all.
I would love to tell you what's in the interview. Okay, except for I don't remember.
Okay, as long as you say I don't remember, because my point was going to be, you were there. You sat next to me.
Yeah. What was in the interview?
I don't know.
So we are all going to be surprised right now as we go to the interview with Tasi Alabastro, Cream Bananas, our favorite Gloomhaven rock monster.
Yep, and favorite Twitch
video game player.
Yes, that's what he does.
Absolutely.
Sometimes he chats. Yeah.
I watched his whole Red Dead Redemption 2 show where he was like in a cowboy hat and the
oh, cool.
thing, and he put the fake mustache, like charcoal mustache on.
Just grow one. We've got time now.
Not all of us have facial hair like me. We cannot grow a magnificent mustache in a week. All right.
And on that depressing note.
Yes. Here is our interview with Tasi Alabastro.
And the episode's over. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
So, welcome to Quest and Chaos. This is our new video podcast chat show where we are talking to people.
Yeah.
And maybe animals. And also baby animals.
Yeah, or baby people.
Yeah.
Animal people?
Yes.
Animal
Okay.
people. Yes,
All right.
furs.
Exactly. Who
Furs.
got you first?
Hey, they raised a lot of money for Australian relief funds.
What the baby animals did?
Yes, and the furries. No, the furries on Twitch.
Oh,
There was a
Nice.
whole
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah.
I
It
missed
came
it.
out like yesterday.
Are there VODs?
I'm sure there are. I mean, yeah. You can't.
But the question is,
Yeah.
since we're talking about Twitch, do I have to subscribe to their channel to see the VODs?
You do not.
All right.
You do not. Although I have recently come across a couple of artists who are not yet affiliates. Oh wait, no, they are affiliates now, but their VODs are under lock.
Yeah, we did that for a little bit to try and push stuff to YouTube, but
Sure.
Also, why?
Best practices, right? I think it works for some. If you're creating something that's educational, and that is your model outside of Twitch, I can see that working. In this case, that artist has a lot of really amazing things to share on his live stream.
Gotcha. So we're here with Tasi Alabastro,
Yep.
Hello.
who runs
Cream Bananas.
Cream Bananas, the Twitch channel.
That's right.
So we're just going to talk about, I guess, Twitch and YouTube and streaming and
Life.
VODs and life and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So you were on Twitch before we started.
Yes, but I don't know how much before you guys.
Okay.
A couple years maybe, but you guys have been working and doing this stuff for your careers outside of Twitch. So
Right.
that's the difference is I didn't,
So how did you, actually that is a good question, because for Thomas and I, to stream is relatively, it's not easy, but it's the fact that it's somewhat innate.
Sure.
In the fact that it's like, I know all the components, I know what I have to do, I know I have to encode things, I know that the stream has to get out there, and that you need certain devices and systems to do it. How did you kind of go through the learning process to figure out how to stream? Because you're mostly theater, live, some film.
Some film, yeah. I'd like to get back to that. It started, I was creating videos on YouTube on my YouTube channel for video game content. So watching Let's Plays. And I think it was because I had my, was pushing really hard in the performing arts. I was like, I need a balance in my life. And I was, discovered that early on. I just get bored too. So even though I really like something, I tend to burn out. And it's like, I'm going to make these videos. These Let's Plays that I watch are really...
Yeah.
So going back a little bit, the thing about my personality is if I catch myself saying, oh, I can do that, once, then I have to do it. That's kind of the pro
Very
and
nice.
the con. Yeah, because
Like, I can eat those nachos.
Yes.
I'll order two. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And, for better or worse, in my mind, I'm like, oh, why did I say that? one, I feel like I'm disparaging the person who's creating the content, right? And I don't ever want to feel that way. So like, okay, well, I'll make something. And in my mind, if they see it, great. If they don't, then it's just part of that world now. So I was just making a bunch of those. And I started to realize like, well, I was spending a lot of time editing.
And we circle back to the bane of our existence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm spending like a quarter of the time that I spent like actually making it than editing it.
And that's not bad, because when you go to film school, they teach you, and again, this is completely false, don't believe it, but they teach you it's like a third, or like it's like 3-1-3 or something like that. So if you're shooting for a week, you should be 3 weeks in pre-production and 3 weeks in post. So a quarter is actually kind of small. You know what I mean? You should be at 40, 50, somewhere between 40 and 50% of your time in edit, and 40 to 50 in pre, and then just the middle is doing the thing that's actually fun. Yeah, the best part of it.
It's like an Oreo cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Except I hate the middle.
What if it's like double stuffed?
Then better.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's like, no.
That's shooting 2 cameras at once.
Right, you don't always need it.
No, this makes completely sense. This makes absolute sense. It makes complete
The Oreo
sense.
analogy.
No, it does. Yeah. Because when I eat Oreos, sometimes I'll take the back end and just throw it away. Like that extra non-stuffed cookie and just toss it, because I agree with you. And I went from traditional video production to live events because I hate editing. So I just take that last cookie and just toss it the F out the window.
Nailing it.
Done.
This, my friends, is how you live a really fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the things you don't want. Or the people that you don't get along with, you know?
Toss it.
Toss it like an Oreo cookie.
Back end out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. And then Twitch popped up in my periphery. I'm not entirely sure how it did that. And I was like, how do I do that? And so I think at the time I only had a really old MacBook Pro. And the only thing I saw that I was aware of, because I wasn't in this broadcasting world, was Elgato's game capture, which at that time I was already using to record. I was like, okay. And then I saw, of course, all the obstacles which I think a lot of people who want to get into streaming then encounter. Bandwidth issues.
Yeah.
Are you able to connect directly into, and I only have one PC or one computer to do things. Like, well, that shouldn't stop me. So, I'm very happy now that I can look back and go, oh, every time I got a paycheck, I put it towards something, like one thing that would help me. So whether that was like a new keyboard or, I don't know, sending out mail to people who actually like wrote me, because some of those like transferred over. And really started to create a sense of community and like outside of that, so that, it's always the backbone of these people, right?
Right.
Of folks that come and help you. And Twitch came around, and it was rough around the edges, but got it working, and that's how it started. Like, I don't know much else. I can't really remember. Like, I do remember that one of my earliest streams. Highlights already existed. Now you could clip everything, but highlights existed then. And I remember highlighting something only for the sake of I've already established a sense of documenting within my own career, that it just made sense to me to be like, I'll highlight that. Nothing really exciting happened. I was just live streaming Elder Scrolls. Probably talking to nobody, to be honest, but I was talking, and I can look back at that now and go, oh, if I watch this now, I would actually be sort of amused still.
That's good.
Because I'm talking.
Right, yeah.
And that's kind of the start of like public speaking. That's the start of doing any craft, is you just do it, right? And then you kind of like take the wisdom from other people and your experience and kind of inform yourself to get to where you are now, which is right here with you guys hanging out.
Yay.
Look at that.
So our story is somewhat, obviously somewhat similar. In the fact that, so Amy and I had wanted to do a YouTube channel for a while now. We had friends who had very successful channels, the brothers Rydell, where they were putting out a new skit every week.
Yeah.
And that launched their directing careers into LA and doing movies. So that was a model that we wanted to do. However, shooting a short every week is a lot of pre-production, production, and post-production.
So if you think about how much, again, if you think about you're going to shoot something for 6 hours,
Right.
you know what I mean? Technically, that's another 20 hours in pre-production and another 20 hours in post. And all of a sudden, every single week, you're now in a second job just doing a 3-minute video.
If that's what you're really like pushing for. Yeah, absolutely.
So we, it was on our agenda to do for a while, and we just would never really kind of commit and go and do it. And then Critical Role Season 2 came out, Campaign 2. And actually, that was where I, for the first time, saw something that was really good that I said, I can do that.
Yay!
There we go. There we go. That double stuff mentality.
And, again, not to say that they are not amazing.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
But technically, I can do all of that.
Yeah,
right?
you can make that box.
I can make the box.
Yes.
I have all the streaming, and I need to, and I know how to immediately, production-wise, do it at that level, right? I tried listening to some of the the first campaign, and it's just rough. It's hard to watch. It's not great. The look is bad. Everything's not great about it.
Right.
So, seeing them with a polished thing, go, oh, I can totally do that. That's in my wheelhouse to do. So then, Amy and I were talking and trying to go over stuff, and finally
The double stuff, if you will.
Absolutely.
finally
That's
committed.
why you guys work so well as a team.
Yeah, and we finally committed, and we went through a learning process, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We started,
Which is interesting, right? Because even if you already know the base of getting these things started, there are all these little nuanced things that surprise you, right?
Well, we also, I knew how the audio would be great.
Yeah.
And that also cost money, right? So we had, I had microphones, like tabletop mics from another project left over. Okay, let's start here. So we started doing test streams, with these other microphones. And after the test stream, we went back and looked at it and go, okay, this isn't going to work. That's not going to work. This isn't going to work. The cameras we thought we would use don't actually connect into the capturing software that we want to use. And so we did a number of tests early on, and then we just kept iterating on the equipment.
Yeah. So so that was for just to kind of expound upon that and, backtrack to what you were talking about.
Yeah.
That was kind of our experience in the fact that we almost had to reverse engineer what we knew and then relearn what we knew. Like, did you have to start from sort of zero and just be like, I've got to learn all of this?
The short answer to that is no. I never felt like I had to kind of go back. It was always like, what are then the big steps forward?
Got it.
To pick up, right? Like I like you guys, worked on film sets. So I was like, okay, I know how sound works for the most part. It's just gonna be me. So I think it's just being aware of what my desire was in the short goal, in the short term, and then knowing that I have a very limited budget to work from. And so it was just a mindset of, am I okay with this right now?
Got it. As opposed to...
That was the hardest part is because I know how much better it could be already.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's still like maybe a year,
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so it was just changing that mindset of like, you know what? This is okay. This is okay. No one's seeing this right now. I am. And that's what's informing me. And that's fine.
Yeah.
And I have other, like you, like Critical Role, right? To use them as an example, you already had like a
benchmark.
A benchmark, yeah, thank you. I had lots of benchmarks. I was like, I could do that if I had this. Okay, great. I'm not going to make that the excuse, but what's the next thing for me to do? Just make another episode.
Right.
Just make another episode. Make the editing thing faster. Make my workflow better.
So in that sort of workflow better, for us, it was gear experimentation. Did you do, what kind of experimentation did you do in order to get faster, do better?
I explored just straight uploading it from okay, I'm done recording, send to YouTube. There was no signature for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think part of this work as an actor or even as anyone who creates is there's a bit of a delusion that you have to have why do people want to watch me? Why do people want to listen to me? Right? And you had to own that. Like, well, because I'm an authority of, or because I'm really passionate about this. I got to share it. I got to do it. And so there was that. We were like, okay, well, now anyone can do this. Anyone can just record and send. How do I judge it? How do I give it like this is before YouTube had like their end slates and all that stuff. Right. Oh, maybe I'll learn some Photoshop. Those are things that just kind of expanded all that. That was super fun. Right. And then what else did I try? I tried, had I known about podcasts back then, I probably would have been really interested in doing that too. Right. I tried sending it to family members. Okay. It was one thing I didn't realize, like,
your family doesn't like you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got some real terrible hate mail. And they were like, you have crappy taste in games.
Like, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I don't even explain to my parents what I do. Yeah, I'm just like, don't even worry about it, Mom.
Yeah, and it's hard enough to try to explain the whole acting thing. Like, you know what? It's acting on my camera. Let's just put it that way, right? And like, oh, we don't get it. Who watches this? Why? Why are you going back to school?
Are you going to be a doctor ever?
Yeah, exactly.
When are you going to be done wasting your life?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's accurate. And I'm sure many people will feel that way. It's really accurate. Like, are you gonna do this? Like, no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm hard-headed. That's not my fault.
This is it, Mom. This is all you're getting. Grandchildren? Nope. You got these VODs.
Yeah, but listen, Mom, you're gonna get them every week between this time and that time.
And I need you to click subscribe.
Yeah, please, thanks, Mom.
And share with everybody.
Yeah.
So then that seems to be the YouTube, right? And then transition over to Twitch where you're live and interacting with people?
Oh, man.
How was that transition?
Easy. For me, I think primarily because the theater and the performing arts aspect made sense to me, which is a big reason I did switch over.
Okay.
Because again, with the experimentation of like, for me to feel really successful on YouTube, I need to sit and write something. Yeah. And do the pre-production and the work, essentially. Right. And the work at the time for me was more interesting when I just went and did it. So like a performance, for instance, you get 30 shows. Great, I'll knock them down. It's like creating a schedule on Twitch. I'll do 3 shows a night, or not a night. And
the matinee.
And the matinee. Don't forget those guys. So it made more sense jumping over, and even when there weren't anyone watching.
That was my leader into my next question.
Yeah.
Like, how does that affect your emotional state?
That's a great question. I think when I first started, I was living in a place where my housemates could hear me. So it was more of that. So it was just being more like, I'm creeping and sneaking around.
Secretly in your head, you're trying to make them laugh in the back room.
Yeah, like, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Like, Twitch.tv stuff, but it never bothered me. It never bothered me. Just to not have anyone there. I will say, though, I think as you evolve through that and as whatever else you're doing in your life, the value of your time changes. So sometimes I do feel like, okay, well, great. If I'm streaming from this time to this time and that's all I've got in my bandwidth, then there's a sense of like, no one showed up, or, I don't feel as fulfilled. That gets really challenging. Yeah. But what are you gonna do? That's kind of the beast of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and us as creators, we kind of look at that, what's cancel territory, what's keep territory. Yeah. Because, how long do you do it before you're like, if I still have 0 people 2 years from now, you know what I mean? If I'm still talking to the same 5 friends, why don't we just Google Hangout?
Right. Change your time a little bit. Yeah. And it's harder to, I think, see some of the milestones that come with that. Like, oh, great. 3 additional people who are like hardcore supporters are now tuning in all the time, right? Like, I had a friend go, man, and they're doing much better than I am in regards to like numbers wise, right? But when he first started, he'd be like, man, every time you went live, you'd have like double digits watching you, like within the first 2 minutes or whatever. Like, Yeah, half of those are bots, probably, and now he's got 3 digits every time he's
That's good.
in his starting screen. And where does that put me, right? Or how do I feel about that? Well, you know what? At the end of the day, when you have to reflect, or you have to relook at your data, whichever works for you. I was like, I haven't been putting as much work in, as far as like consistency or networking, and I don't even think it's really about always trying to update your channel look either. I think there was a time early on where like, you know what? If I put like a title screen or like do this thing, it'll draw. People see through the gimmicks,
right?
After like the first few minutes, right? Like if you're an avid viewer of anything, you're like, pass, next.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So eventually, when we were doing this channel, we talked to you, and you kind of jumped back into Twitch at that point, right? So
I did.
You were off for a little bit.
Yeah. Every time I do a show, performing arts show, it's usually one at this tier anyway. One show takes about 2 months, a month of rehearsal, and then you have your evenings where you're doing the performances. I could probably hustle harder and manage that and a streaming channel, but the thing is, like, I want to give myself space, mental space, to be able to focus more. I guess it's you just got to know who you are, right? And I lose focus pretty quickly, and so if I'm doing that and that, I don't have a lot of time to work on like my lines.
Right.
And there are people that will be paying for the show and going to see the show, so
you could stream yourself learning the lines.
I've done that. So if anyone wants to do that, the trick is, if you are trying to do a whole show or do a show, you run into copyright issues.
Oh yeah.
Because if
it's not your work,
yeah, exactly. If it's a play that a theater has commissioned, they had to pay the rights for it, right? So for me to be like, guys, I'm going to do Act 3 of this, it's dangerous territory. Because I thought about that. I was like, it would be really cool if I like got a script and sent it out to some of my like hardcore supporters, and we just do a scene.
Right.
Like, fine.
That's interesting. I suppose even just a scene is still.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like accidentally cross the territory that then I have to pay for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it'd be fine for the most part, People would be excited to see that work, or like get a taste of that, or like do your thing.
Yeah. Metallica wants their music to be out there.
Exactly. Especially ones that sound exactly like them. They want, go for it.
So then you, I mean, this is just noticing once I found out Twitch and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah.
You went pretty big, and then you did a charity stream at Twitch, and
that's
you hit a partner, right?
No, I have not hit partner.
You have not hit partner?
I have not. They're like, get out of here right now.
We thought we were talking to a partner.
Sorry. I apologize. I will say what the journey has looked like so far. It's kind of amusing to me. I adopted the mentality of like, I'm not a small streamer.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are like, #small streamer, support small streamers.
Right.
I'm not a small streamer. I'm a streamer like anybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think to put yourself in that category is doing yourself a disservice. It's like, I'm an aspiring actor. You're either you're acting or you're not. Yeah. It's a verb.
Right.
Are you writing or are you not?
Not right now.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, then you're not a writer right now. You're producing. You're a producer. And that's oversimplifying, of course. People study all this stuff all the time. Yeah. But Twitch has reached out to me for their affiliates program when they first launched that. Yeah. So if you actually go on their Vimeo channel, I'm their thumbnail.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because at the time, again, this is going back to like the transferable skills.
Yeah.
I already knew how to like, what's a good framing, depth of field, decent lighting for what I had. Yeah. That was above and beyond anybody else's like webcam. Right now, you could get like, that stuff's pretty cheap now, but at the time they're like, oh, okay, so put it on the front. Great. I'm a thumbnail. I'm like this. with like a hat on. Yeah, short hair. And then for TwitchCon, I don't know if you guys saw the keynote when it was in San Jose.
We didn't see the keynote, but we saw it
Yeah,
online.
because we couldn't get in because of the line. Remember that drama? Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to San Jose. They used a clip of me in that one.
Okay.
And it's just me with my pizza background, my
You know what?
Generation 1.
Yeah.
I did see that because I think they actually made it like a little commercial as well. Like
Yes.
like a promo that they put before other videos. Yeah.
Except what I thought was amusing was it scarred me. In the voiceover, it's like, Twitch is a place for this and this and whatever this is. And it's just me going,
Yep.
with like makeup on my face and like air chopping with like
And a
my
spinning
bat
pizza,
gifts. Yeah.
And a spinning pizza and a cat flying
It
over
wasn't
the
even
top,
that
yeah.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was my first generation. So it was just a slideshow of
Yeah.
pizzas. And, I was like, great, that's cool. But like, this is such a reminder for me and for any artist where like you can't just take exposure that does not pay you. That doesn't, great, people saw you, whatever, but doesn't mean anything. Exposure gets you a cold,
Yeah, this is true. There's all the memes about, hey, I need this for free. And it's like, would you ask your doctor to
Yeah. Can you do heart surgery
Yeah, exactly.
for free?
Yeah.
It's for great exposure.
Right.
I'll tell everyone how great.
Exactly. What a great open heart surgery.
Listen, the fact that I'm telling you about my doctor right now means he did a great job.
Yeah, some cases,
Yeah.
yes. No, so that actually brings me to a great question because it's like, what is that motivating factor for you? Because some people it is like, I'm on a push to partner. Like when we went to TwitchCon and it's like, how do you make affiliate? How do you make partner? The push to partner. It's one of those things, and Twitch incentivizes people to buy in, to do more,
More
to
so
make
now
more.
with like affiliates. Absolutely. As soon as Amazon had any kind of like affiliation with them, they're like all the requirements changed.
Yeah.
Right. It's significantly easier now.
So do you set goals for yourself? Like, what's kind of your overall, you know what I mean? Because you don't get up and just be like, I'm going to stream today or I'm not going to stream today. Or is it? It's like, this is stream or die kind of thing. Is that it for you? Or are you just like, I have a goal to do X?
I've reevaluated my Twitch channel for a while because I did have a moment where I was like, push to partner. Hashtag push to partner or path to partner.
Yes.
You do your personal campaign. Right? And you hope that your network that you've created in your community with the other streamers is strong enough that you can rely on them, right? And in some cases, yes, that you can. But it had to change. Otherwise, I would have driven myself crazy. Because it's, again, like confronting yourself with your expectation. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're going to receive the outcome that you're hoping for, right? And so when I felt that was pretty fruitless, and I was no longer having fun, right? Then I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then I hit affiliate because it was new. Affiliate was new, and I was like, oh great, that's fine, And then recently, I was like, I haven't streamed consistently in a while. I'm gonna change my goals. There's no reason for me to be a partner right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. I don't adopt the mentality of, oh, I've been doing it for like 7 years. You should give me an honorary partnership.
I've been with you since the beginning. Justin.
I was there from the very top. So it's just like, how can I be more consistent? Has been my goal.
Right.
So now it's like just 2 days a week. And I'm like sticking to that till it gets better. Because there's a lot of other things happening in my life. And thankfully, I've been so transparent with my viewers that a lot of them support me outside of the stream.
Yeah.
And that to me is already very rewarding and successful. And so whether or not partnership comes down the road due to the consistency part, then at least those are things I knew I had control over.
Gotcha. And Twitch is they're actively moving things that were exclusively partnered down to affiliate.
Right.
I mean, it seems like, because it's, the requirements for affiliate are so small that if you get a handful of people supporting you for a month, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it's
partner
3 months,
is,
but
but partner is way harder. Like,
Yeah.
It's you need 3 average viewers to get affiliate and 75 average viewers to get partner.
Yeah.
Like that is a big gap.
It's a huge gap. And in fact, you'll see a lot of partners who still struggle to keep that.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Or people who are like, I don't know if I want to drive to partner.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to another streamer talk and she's like, I don't know if this is the goals for me in my channel.
Yeah.
You know, and the things that come with it. You know, to me, the sacrifice to make partner is something that doesn't resonate with me for what I want.
Yeah.
Which I was like, wow.
Party.
You know, and you're sitting here where we're still trying to, you know, where we're still like in that brand new affiliate territory. I was like, that is some ballsy shit, lady.
Yeah. I think it's about where is partnership to you in like your lifestyle and your goals. And I think depending on what region you and status you have with like your, I don't know, your community or whatever, maybe not community, partnership can be where you want to be as far as like, this is what's paying my rent. This is,
Yeah.
but in my mind, I'm like, partnership is an opportunity to then branch out to like partnerships with a bigger brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not the end.
Yeah, and we are doing so. We're I should say we're trying to do that now. Is we have referral links set up with this company, and and we're trying to push into more of a sponsorship.
I think empire is the word you're looking for.
Yes. So, but I mean, I think being partner, it's hard to see the value of that right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why it's kind of divided, right? When affiliates started getting like things bumped their way.
Yeah. So for us, I don't think it gives us anything that we don't have
already.
Yeah.
And that's when he was talking about like, now apparently something to do with commercials on the VODs or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I always took the understanding that Twitch was not a repository for your post videos.
Right.
But we're seeing that tons of people go to Twitch just to watch the videos after the fact before they expire and go to YouTube. So it's kind of interesting because Twitch doesn't tell you those metrics, but I think that they're valuable metrics.
Yeah. Have you guys watched any VODs?
Yeah.
Like it's interesting, right? Like I think especially for you guys do a very story-based, campaign-based. It makes a lot of sense to have VODs reruns, basically.
Yeah.
And I see that the communities that watch those are still active, even if the video isn't live.
Yeah,
which I think is fascinating. It's
what's even funnier is that we're sitting there chatting. Like the other day, we played a rerun, and the 3 of us are literally chatting in the same room with each other in the chat.
Yeah, which is awesome, right?
It's also a bit ridiculous. It's kind of like head in your phone syndrome, where you're just like, why am I talking to the person next to me on our computer?
Well,
Yeah.
The future. Yeah.
But just kind of back to the community and the support piece of it.
Yeah.
In the fact when you said empire, I almost don't feel like that. Like when we started, it kind of felt like, it's important to get sponsors and to like have these are actually relationships, which I never thought would be a thing. You think of it in a business term, in the fact that it's like, Gordon Biersch is our sponsor, or Nord Games is our affiliate, and they give us a percentage off. It's like, we drink with those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we don't know our sponsors and affiliates at a level to where, you know what I mean, we've met their spouses and
you've hung out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've hung out kind of thing. Where it's vastly different than, you know what I mean? It is a business in some respects, but it's also really not.
Right. I think the most successful channels, though, they look very personal, but the back end is like clockwork, right? To everyone's benefit, both the producers, the creators, and the audience, right? Everyone kind of gets something fulfilling for themselves. But that's not always, it's a seesaw sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You can keep giving, and that drains you, but the audience loves it. Or you can do stuff for yourself and maintain yourself, and you may not get as many people watching.
Yeah. I mean, do you find it addicting, though?
Oh, man. That's a great question.
Because we have these conversations every once in a while where it's just like, even tonight, it's like, you come off so many weeks of doing just straight getting out of bed, starting at 5 a.m, streaming until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And by day X, you're just like, do I or don't I? Like, what's the question? And it's like, is it an addiction where you're like, if I don't do it, what are all the consequences if I don't keep getting up and plugging away? What are the consequences versus can I just give myself a break? Should I give myself a break?
I don't know. I mean, I think the addiction is the stop. Like, you know.
What do you mean?
It's like,
I'm sorry.
What do you say? What do you mean?
I got a problem? I don't have a problem.
streaming this often is not good for us. Stopping and sleeping, that is the addiction that we are fighting to be live.
I'm totally opposite.
I mean, you texted me this, so you got up super early this morning.
I have highs and lows.
I slept in.
Every day, I have a high and a low that it peaks at least twice.
Sure.
So I slept in. You got up early.
Yeah.
You texted me sometime this morning.
Were you awake when I texted you this morning? Because I already done like probably about 4 hours worth of work by the time you got up.
But East Coast time.
Yeah.
But I was in that like, we got to cancel tonight. This is too tough. I can't go on.
Yeah.
You know.
And meanwhile, I've had my third cup of coffee. I've eaten lunch already twice. It's 11:30, and I'm like, we'll be fine.
I haven't eaten lunch yet.
Wow.
I'm having one meal today. I would say that's my new plan, but that's not. that's
not
just
it.
like.
I was just say, are you fasting too? Yeah. I guess not.
No, because I'm going to Wendy's after this, and
Nice.
that is not healthy for me.
Going for my third cup of coffee for my third win.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that when I get home.
Yep.
Like, let's do this. 6 o'clock. Let's go. You know, that's a damn good question. Is it an addiction?
Yeah. Are you addicted? Where you're just like, if I'm not, you're like, you ask yourself, should I be?
I think my personality is I get obsessed. I don't really get addicted. I guess the two aren't necessarily the same, right?
Yeah.
Addiction is a disease, and it's really challenging.
You can't bring yourself out of a cycle. Yeah.
You're right. Obsession and phases. I definitely have that because let's say for example, a couple of months ago, I had scheduled my notifications on Steam to go. I was going live, and I put out my weekly schedule. Great. Everyone knows, put it on Discord, all that stuff. Come the morning of, I was like, I don't want to stream. I want to just walk to the cafe and draw.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to say drink. I was like, I'll beat you there.
Yeah. I'll have a Kahlua with my coffee. Thank you. And I don't know where that comes from sometimes. I think my personality is I'm mercurial, I guess, in a sense of like, yeah, do I want to go there now? Let's go.
That's actually great.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, no, it is. I do that, and I grew up very different in the fact that my parents are very goal-driven people. It's active. They're very active people. Like, I'm a type B compared to my parents' type A. And if you think that I'm high-strung, you should see them. They are out of control.
Yeah.
And the fact that learning to listen to what your needs are, I think, is extremely important. So my parents would see it as in, why are you laying in bed on a Saturday afternoon just staring at the television? And I'm like, I'm not staring at television. I'm just kind of laying here letting my mind wander with noise in the background. Like sometimes you just do things that you know that you need to do.
Yeah.
And you're not worried about the have-to-do list.
Yeah.
And you're like, sometimes I just got to ebb and flow with it. Otherwise, I'm going to burn out and die.
Well, that's, you pretty much say how I work. Because, at any given time of day, I'm either drawing, I'm designing something, I'm editing something, I'm memorizing something, I'm cooking something, into preparation for the next thing, or I'm in a meeting, or those things. And sometimes I want to do them, sometimes I just have to do them. And so sometimes when you're streaming, for me especially, when I'm only streaming twice a week now, it's too easy to be like, I'll push it to a different day as long as it's twice a week.
Yeah.
Right? Pro and con to that, right? I think if if you apply that to like working out, great. Still works because then you're being active twice a week at least. Yeah. But when you're thinking about building a community and being successful and generating the views or whatever your goals are, that doesn't work as well. And so I find it challenging to be like, and then oftentimes I find if it's like 10 minutes into me hitting live, I'm often good. Like I just need to get through that hump.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of that is, how do I streamline my process? Turn my computer on, click, 5 clicks, and I can be live.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, what's the least amount of clicks for me to hit, and I'm good to go.
Right.
Which is a big reason I got rid of my green screen.
Okay.
because
Got it.
I just felt like with the camera angle, I was always like futzing with like the corners or like readjusting the frame. Like that takes too long now. So now it's like turn 2 lights on and we're go.
Well, and that creates good habits. I mean, isn't that sort of like the things you hear every January 1st when people are like, how do you continue to work out? Put your shoes by the door. Make it easy. You know?
Yeah.
Make it 2 steps and you're doing a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Get yourself in that rhythm. So,
Yeah.
Going back to what you're saying, is it an addiction? No. Obsession? It can be.
Okay.
Yeah. It's when I know I'm weaning off of that, then I'm obsessed over something else. There's a quote I heard and I was like, that's me. And it's I am what consumes me. So, right now it's drawing. So I've been finding time on stream to be like, hey guys, look at my art.
Nice.
Tell me I'm pretty.
Mine's a giant purple worm.
Oh, boy.
I am what consumes me. Like a monster. It's Dungeons and Dragons.
I know. It just got weird for a second.
BC Dubs, I don't know if you guys on Amazon Prime, it's a show called Eye of the Beholder. Or no, a documentary. And it's about the art of D&D. It's quite nice to kind of see like the decades and who contributed. And I was like, whoa! And I used to play EverQuest. And I remember looking at the box art. Well, that's pretty cool. And I didn't realize that the person who drew that was like one of the 4 horsemen of the D&D art world.
Yeah.
And he had died younger than his colleagues. But I was like, whoa, that's so crazy to me that now they're kind of,
Yeah. We did a stream with Errol Otis last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At this time.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, so I only know him from his art,
Yeah.
not as a dungeon master, right?
Wow.
So it was interesting to watch that play out, and also he's did artwork for the first edition modules and books and stuff like that. They were playing first edition D&D, and we're streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
And he wasn't concerned about the time, hitting the story beats and ending the story before the stream ends, So it was that we got sort of to the end of the allotted time zone. He's like, we're halfway through this. We'll pick, it was a celebrity stream with a bunch of different people. It was like, we'll pick this up next time. And like,
what is that?
What do you mean next time? So it's
great.
just like, it just ends in the middle of this. And, us producers of this type of show.
I'm thinking an hour. I'm thinking in A blocks and B blocks, an hour content. When's my first commercial break? When do we have to go to video? When do we have to go to play? You know what I mean? Like you're on a time clock.
Yeah.
When we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, I'm DMing, and the monster has X number of hit points, right? And if it's getting late, and somebody drops it to 1 hit point,
you're gonna finish it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got it. I'm not gonna be like, nope, we're gonna go another 20 minutes for everyone to go around the table. Yeah, just like it's close.
Yeah.
Other times fair. I'm like, oh no, I'm just gonna add. I'm gonna add 100 hit points to this thing.
But that's I guess that's the thing about Dungeons and Dragons, though, right? Is that as a DM or GM, DM, that's your power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's fun and you're like moving along, I guess that makes sense.
Just trying to, manage the game, which is the story elements, into the time allotted. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, look, I could see all the hats you're wearing now.
I thought you were going to point his gray hair.
You might as well call yourself a nonprofit.
Yeah.
All the gray hairs that you said.
Oh boy. So do I ask about this? Jealous? No, not you. I'm not talking to you.
No. I don't know what this is.
Are you so you mentioned your friend who's like, oh my God, you start in double digits and now he's
yeah.
Jealous much?
No.
Okay, at all? You were never jealous, or you weren't like, what is he doing that I'm not doing? Like, have you ever... Because in the world of the internet and social media, everything is kind of a comparison, and to keep like a good state of mind, you got to be like...
Again, I think having the opportunity to work in theater and just have a life outside of the thing, other thing, just having a balanced life allows me to work on philosophies and things like comparison is the thief of joy, right? Yeah. And so I may not believe it initially, but just knowing that and reminding myself, I'm like, there are bigger things. And also, that guy worked really hard, you know, and at the end of the day, like that's the pudding right there. Like,
Right. Yeah.
no one will take that away from this person, anybody where they are. And however that looks, no one will know the behind the scenes of that except for that person. So, yeah, you know, we could see a lot of numbers and success, but what are these people dealing with? I already know what I'm dealing with, right? And I'm not even like, you know, I'm pretty Hakuna Matata, just FYI, guys. But, you know, like, if I'm stressing out about something and I can't be on stream, well, you know, I can't have any expectations of like, well, why aren't the whole of North America watching my show? You know what I mean? Like, I think you can be delusional, but pick the right delusion. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like delusional and they're like, oh, I worked all day and night. Well, you know what? Suck it. Like, yeah. So I don't find myself jealous when it comes to that. You know, what would I feel jealous over if I had to think about it? Probably that, you know, it's more like an excuse, right? It's probably that is already, like, using this person as an example, that is already within what they do as a career.
Okay.
Game development.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm having to, like, you know, consolidate and negotiate the 2-3 lives that I feel like I'm leading, which, you know, is why I got rid of my Cream Bananas Twitter account, my Cream Bananas Instagram. Because I was like, you know what? There's no reason for that. It's just me. I am the brand. You know, I just need to work harder to make Cream Bananas synonymous to who I am. And sometimes, in fact, I'll hear the name Crean. Like, if I'm berating myself in my head, which we do, it'll be either Ryan or Crean, which is really funny. So I'm like, oh, that's weird, because Ryan's my first name, right? And, you know, I used that when I was a kid. So yeah, not really jealous. I try to find ways to be more helpful, you know, because I think if you are in the service of that, then you get swept up in it anyway. Yeah. So what's your strategy? You know? Yeah. So I'm cheering you guys on. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
I saw you in the chat the other day. Yes, last night.
I'm trying to carve out. Yeah, last night.
I know. I'm like a week ago.
Yeah. Try going to sleep for a second. You gotta refresh.
I kind of find that interesting because when I ask if you're jealous or not, like, to me, there's other streamers that we know that do the exact same thing. Yeah. And a lot of times I look at that and go, that's really smart. Should we think about that? You know what I mean? I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that and congratulations, good for you. And how are you dealing with that? And, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But as far as just like reaching out to other streamers and creating a community with other streamers, are you finding that easy or hard because, like, you're streaming or you're doing something or you're promoting the streaming or you're working or you're on a bus or you're sleeping or you're eating or you know what I mean? You're doing your things where it's almost like, in addition to be a good community member and to quote unquote expand your community, you also have to partner and team with other streamers, and you're just like, man, my boat is sailing my direction, and geez, you know what I mean? I'm like, sometimes you're like,
you're in a whole different ocean right now.
Yeah, right now I'm like paddling just to keep up. Like, how do you find, you know what I mean? How do you find
people to network with? Oh man.
Yeah, how are you networking with everybody? Are people who watch you just other streamers who are supportive? Like, are you supporting other streamers? How's that kind of working out for you?
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because, like, every time on my Chrome tab will be Twitch, which is just the front page. Yeah. Followed by my dashboard, followed by follows or who I'm following. Yeah. And then my clips. Okay. And I just haven't changed those because I found a need. But I find myself clicking on the follow one more often than the other ones. Because if I'm only streaming twice a week, I'm only hitting that dashboard once, right? Yeah. And again, this is going back to, like, minimizing your clicks. One click, I'm on my follow page. And so discovering new streamers, it's more challenging because I'm not on the front page. I'm not looking at that. Then as far as, like, how do you cultivate these relationships, right? Yeah. I find that a lot of people that I'm following were from folks when I was more active. So what that means to me is, like, well, now that I'm not as active, how much can I give? If like you're just saying, if my ship is already sailing this way. Yeah. I'm not going to turn it and go somewhere else, right? It's really hard. It's really hard. And the way I cultivate those is I just drop them notes once in a while on Discord. I mean, I think Discord makes things kind of easy. Yeah. I'm in everyone's Discord channel, but that doesn't mean I'm active in each one.
Yeah, Discord is literally like one step north of the Wild West called Reddit, you know?
It's really hard, right? There are really cool ways to utilize Discord that I see people doing. They do Discord raids, right? Yeah. Where they're like, all right, everybody, we're going to this one guy's channel right now. They're live, which I think is cool. Yeah. But like, okay, so let's use my friend that I was mentioning earlier. Like, I'll visit his channel because I'm a mod on his channel too. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we share a couple of mods, and we do the charity streams together. And so that makes it easier. But if you were to tell me like, well, if I were to go out now and like try to find someone, yeah, good luck. I don't think it's as easy. One, the conventions help, but you need to be a certain type of person too, right? If you're an introvert, right? No way. You're gonna have a really hard time. And Twitch doesn't like, here's an introvert corner for, you know what I mean? Like,
here's the quiet corner.
Yeah, it's all gathered together separately in our own rooms.
Right, exactly. Room service. Your own. Yeah, man, that's such a great question.
I mean, it's just, for me, it's kind of a little bit of a guilt point, too, because it's like, you're right. Second I open Twitch, instead of going to do the things that I should be doing, I'm like, let me cruise around and see who's on right now and what they're doing. And I pop in, and I only spend minutes. Yeah. And then come back out.
I think if it's another creator, they tend to understand. You know, if like someone will pop in, I know they're also a streamer, and maybe I haven't seen them in a while, I know, like, if I don't hear from them, that's cool. Like, they're probably working on their stuff, but it was just nice to see them. Yeah. Right? And so I do make an effort to, like, reach out, send a private message, say, yo, it was good to see you. Or, like, I'll tweet, and like, man, it was really nice you joining us today.
I'm kind of finding Twitter's actually the shorthand for, okay, I couldn't talk to you while you're on stream because I was doing this, or this, but I could Twitter you later at my...
Well, the nice thing is, like, depending on how you format that reply or share, both followers see it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a passive way to create this like bond with you know, cross pollinating your followers. But that, you know, it's a nice way. Yeah. I find that now that I'm drawing again, I'm hanging out in streams that are arts related. Yeah. So it could be, you know, and that's not even a lot. That's just like tuning in, like, what are you doing? I'm inspired. Okay, thanks. Like, we'll keep drawing. So I don't know. It's hard, man. Like, I try to catch you guys, but sometimes, and this is not your guys' fault. You guys have a schedule. I can always like look at your schedule. Yeah. But I'm like, oh man, I can't be at my desk at the moment. Yeah. And I don't really like watching on my phone because I want to be able to like be witty. Yeah.
No, I totally get that. Like the best times that we have are when we're sitting next to each other. And again, we're all on somebody's stream in the same room together, chatting on the stream. Yeah. And it's just, I'm like, God, we are just so weird. It's not normal.
It's like chat rooms, but with like a visual like interface, right? Like,
and you're in the same room together.
Well, yeah, and that's fine too.
It's not weird. It's not weird at all.
We do it in the library all the time.
That's one thing that I like about Twitch is the chat. Is sometimes the chat is quiet. Sometimes it's relevant. Sometimes it's just completely separate to what's going on as the community is having their own conversation, asking about how each other are doing all that.
Love those moments when I have to be like, hey guys, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. Are you guys talking about me?
Yeah, I'm like deep in the game, like, oh, okay, well, I want to keep my vocals at a minimum. You guys
You guys just enjoy yourself.
By the way, guys, I just beat this boss. So check it out.
I know the best enchiladas are downtown, but yeah. By the way,
look at this strat. Yeah. Look at this strat. I really love those moments, and you know, going back to what we were talking about earlier about like where the obsession or where do you find success or whatever. When I can, you know, go a whole day without being on my phone, getting on my phone and going on Discord and seeing like, I've got like 75 unread messages and they're about like Formula One racing. I'm like, yes! you guys are awesome. Like, thank you. You know, like, I don't know. There's something
You're
really
like, I
rewarding.
don't know anything about it, but cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, for example, on my Discord channel, I have Formula One racing now on there. Do I read any of that? Sometimes. No, what are you guys talking about? I have a tech channel because a couple guys like really talking about like NVIDIA stuff and like what's on CES this year, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So they're going on about that. And then there's like a food thing, you know, there's different interests. And it's really cool to just be like, hey guys, what's going on? And they'll fill me in briefly, or they're like, scroll up, Crean. Like, okay.
Yeah.
They're like, how far?
Yeah, how far? Well, that feels really good. And so if I can see more of that, then I'm on the right track.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And does that feel weird? Because when you interface with the real world, let's just put it that way. So when you read adult articles,
Like the almond milk.
yeah, exactly. Not
the
just
tips of those
reading,
almonds, really.
not just reading the headlines
Yeah.
about how disconnected everybody is, and about how we spend all of our times on the phone, and you see all of those cartoons about people just like walking in a line with their phone and falling into a manhole because nobody's paying attention.
Crane necked or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. I don't see it in that respect. Kind of what's, because again, we live in a world where we are part of a community. So I feel like I do have friends on the internet, which is bizarre because if you would have asked me that 5-10 years ago, I'd have been like, that's insane. Like I would have been the complete opposite person. So saying that esports aren't real sports and that you don't have friends on the internet, friends are for, face to face.
Right.
How are you kind of coming to terms with and balancing the fact that like IRL friends versus online friends?
I think it has to go back to my childhood where I did not like the feeling of exclusion.
Okay.
So for example, like amongst my friends, if we were talking in a circle and I knew there were people in my periphery, I was adopted an open stance.
Yeah.
In case this person wanted to come in. That's always just kind of been like innate for me. And I'm, nature versus nurture. I don't know, maybe my parents beat something into me that made sense, right? Yeah. Because even as a kid, I didn't really, where I grew up, American Samoa, I didn't notice anyone that was like socially awkward.
Okay.
Here I do. And so I definitely double my efforts to make things like accessible. And so when you're talking about what you were asking me, is that weird? Wait, what were you asking me?
Oh, it's just the fact that, just in reflecting, it's, we used to only have friends that you would play with.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like you play with your friends online and you kind of have to balance that. How do you keep, is that sort of a natural balance for you? Is it normal? Are you more into one than the other? Like, how does that kind of work for you?
Okay, that's where my train of thought was going.
I was like, we're going back to...
Yeah, it feels normal to me.
Real versus online.
Yeah, it feels pretty normal. I think it's just a matter of like, do we have time to hang out? For both real people and, like, for instance, I'm on a text thread about when we're going to go see Bad Boys for life.
No kidding.
Right? And it's only amongst 5 guys, plus our, like, significant others. But the amount of options are like, guys, I can't make that damn rehearsal, or I can't, It's like, oh, boy. And I literally said, wasn't it easier when we were kids? And it was like, we'll go on this day. All right, we'll tell our parents to drop us, or
and then you'd have a temper tantrum if you couldn't go. You'd be like, but everybody's going, Mom.
Exactly, and then you would go anyway, right? So for me, it's like the challenge of the online community is the time zones. It's like, great, now I got to do something in the morning, so I make sure I reach our friends across the pond.
Right.
And but as far as like real life, actually a great example of this is I'll do Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
We have a lot of theater friends that play it. And so I think one of the best moments of my streaming life last year was seeing my theater friends duke it out with my online friends.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was really cool.
Nice.
And to be able to then like turn the stream off and then see like Discord full of like, oh man, that was a great move. And then go to like a real life function and like, hey, who was that guy that like whooped my ass?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so-and-so. They're from here. And, and then, finding myself, wow, I know a lot about this person.
Right.
It's like, damn, they're at UCLA studying poetry, like, which they are. This is a true story. And like, that's weird. Like, that's awesome. So in my mind, I've clearly not made these like boundaries.
Right.
It's just they're all like a lump. It's just a matter of like, well, what am I dealing with now?
Yeah, where do you connect?
Where do I connect right now? Yeah. But I can see where some people would want to hide that. Like I have internet friends, because that's a stigma you're fighting.
Yeah.
Is it still? I don't know. It's after a while, you're
so.
so immersed in this world that you're like, is that really a stigma?
Right. And so how do you combat that, right, if you're not in that world?
Yeah, because we have conversations at work sometimes about Watchmen comics or whatever movie's out or the Watchmen series. You know what I mean? Just whatever. And sometimes people who are not, you know what I mean, kind of in that culture will come by and be like nerds, and I'll forget that it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That is, you know, that's how it kind of used to be, where you would call us nerds when we talked about stuff like that. Where now it's like nerd culture is pervasive everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know, having online friends is pervasive everywhere, where you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. Other people still see these things as black and white.
Yeah, because that's their life hasn't, you know, taken those into account, or they maybe don't have an access point.
Yeah, highly possible.
Yeah, but also like, well, what do you like, sir? Oh, you like cars? Well, you're a car nerd.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
Plus, Twitter's not an easy place to swim in.
Yeah, exactly. 140
Or Reddit.
strokes at a time. Yeah, or Reddit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about you guys? Like,
What?
now that you're doing more stuff on like Twitch and stuff, and you had an experience with TwitchCon, did you meet anyone? I mean, I know it was still early days.
Yeah, I mean, so we met some cool people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we met this miniature painter out of, you know, somewhere down south of here. You know, and she
super specific, isn't it, Thomas?
Well, also trying to be vague, you know. But you know, so she
by the Taco Bell.
Yeah, just don't say about the Taco Bell. So she had a channel painting miniatures.
Okay.
So we sent her some of our miniatures for our show to her.
Oh, neat.
You know, and commissioned her to paint them. So then she streamed it, and you know,
very cool.
And that was really cool. What did the other thing? I don't know.
Well, no, that answer. Like,
yeah.
That's part of networking.
So
right?
yeah, I mean that was fun. There was another part to that. I think that I was going to say that I was too tired
or too hungry.
Yeah, too hangry.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
No, I found because we went to TwitchCon right like within that first year that we started, so I don't even know. I don't think we were affiliates yet, and so it was part of it was just how do we navigate the waters of Twitch, because at that point I don't know what Twitch was like before 2017 or 2018. But it seems like they're like, you should be an affiliate. You should be a partner. You should do this. Here's like they gamify how to become the next thing. And so for a second, you're like, I need to.
The achievement thing.
Yeah, the achievements. And it's like, I need to buy into this. And then you go, oh, wait. And then after a year, you're just like, oh, wait a minute. That's not even where my brain is at anymore.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm just like, I feel like Twitch is the platform now, as opposed to I'm a Twitch streamer. You know, it's very separate. Where before, you know, Twitch was like, it's the t-shirt's the identity. That's who I am. I'm a Twitch streamer. Where now it's just like, oh, it's the place where I stream.
Right.
Not, you know, I'm a Twitch streamer.
The thing that I got back as far as what my friends were saying on the very most recent TwitchCon was that they felt there was an interesting divide amongst the streamers who traditionally just did video games and board games versus those who are now doing like in real life and like like their own talk show. That there was a clear personality difference between the two.
Between the actual streamers or between how Twitch is treating
the actual streamers.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty interesting, because
how so?
Again, going back to what you were saying, where I'm a gamer, it makes sense for me to go on Twitch.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I'm a live streamer. Well, let me pick Twitch.
Right.
Because you have options now, right?
Exactly.
And Mixer has put themselves in a position where it really is just games.
Yeah.
So
they're offering contracts. You know what I mean? Did they just steal Ninja or something like that?
Yeah, and like Shroud.
Yeah, that's a Shroud.
Right. Well, both of them. And then of course Facebook bought a couple too.
Yep.
Which I don't know if you noticed. If you go on the Facebook live producer, it's changed a little bit. So I'm like, clearly. Yeah. But what took you guys so long?
Right. Well, and so I don't know anything about, you know, when we first started coming out, they had a 2-hour limit to live streams? Facebook.
They still do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that, that's where it's like.
Oh, it's 8 now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So.
But again, the delay is terrible.
Yeah. We have a colleague that he multi-streams to Mixer and
Facebook.
And it's like, you have 0 viewers on Facebook. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
And 6 or 7 viewers on Mixer. But it's, because we're affiliates, we are limited to what we can do. We have to wait 24 hours before the VOD goes up on YouTube.
Before you could put
we
it
can't
on
restream because we were accidentally doing this. We were restreaming to YouTube because at work that's what we do.
Right.
Like at work, we don't do Twitch because it's not a corporate, entity. You know what I mean? It's not for corporate content. But I do simultaneously stream to Twitter. Yeah, I simultaneously stream to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, our homepage, our internal page, you know what I mean? Any other person's page that we're doing a partnership with for this video or this live content. So I'm very used to using Restream to sort of just say, whose Facebook page are we doing it? Are we doing it for Data Center? Are we doing it for this? And going everywhere, or specifically gating, ungating, stuff like that.
I kind of wonder if that'll change.
With Twitch, maybe.
With Twitch.
It could be.
Once like Mixer is really like, it's got its foothold, its voice. Once like Amazon.
Amazon
is Twitch, yeah.
Facebook.
YouTube catches up for some of the functions, Facebook. They'll be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Have at it, I
mean, I still think it's an amazing world where if we wanted to launch this as a 24-hour or an 8-hour or a 12-hour streaming channel. Just
I was like, we already are 12-hour streaming.
No. I mean, but every single day.
Sure. Have like a streamer house.
Yeah. We could go to a bunch of these platforms at no cost. In fact, they would pay us, right, to do that. And that's, I suppose that's cable, right?
Oh, yeah.
You create a channel, cable pays you, they pay cable. But the cost to start is very small.
Yeah.
The cost to start really well is higher, but not astronomical. We're crazy because we have 6 cameras. But,
so that's a big topic, right?
Yeah, Thomas is crazy because he just likes to spend money on gear.
Well, that's also like, that's who you are as your identity too. You studied that and the business of it. But like,
technically, it's all rental gear that can go out and
make money at one point in time
and come back.
Absolutely, which is awesome. Yeah. I wish I could say. Well, I guess I could technically do that with some of my stuff, but I'm not set up for that. I don't have an infrastructure for that. But like, that is a great point. Is when you see streamers that have no webcam, and they're like Lyric. Are you familiar with this streamer? He. I think the only reason I always see it because I've already followed him, but I never really watch him anymore. But he's this guy who streams, and his average 25,000. No webcam, but his production value now is pretty high. Like his weight screen is like a bunch of cats watching, animated cats just watching a loading screen. Like, that's cool. But I've even heard him say, like in an article, like, I feel stuck because I have this great viewership, this great community, but I want to do more.
And see,
but he doesn't know what that more is because.
Well, and see, again, and I think that's where Thomas and I come from a different perspective in the fact that I stream corporate video continually, and we're always doing either like a live talk show type thing or an update or a product launch or you know what I mean? It's this or this kind of thing. So I have varied types of live IRL streaming is more a little bit of my wheelhouse than anything else.
Which I would love to get into.
News show stuff is, what we essentially specialize in. And so for me, I like, and that kind of gets back to that conversation of when I first started Twitch, it's like, how do I become a successful Twitch streamer versus now I'm a streamer who uses Twitch because what content interests me. And then it's my job to bring people back to me.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit synergistic. And so that's sometimes too the struggle because D&D isn't huge on Twitch. We're a real small segment of that.
But I think the viewers of that are hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
You know, so to anybody who's out there going, oh, I feel stuck on Twitch, it's just because, you know, you're just kind of stuck. Like if you're only playing video games or if you're only doing art streams, it's super easy to just turn the camera on and just be like, today we're going to do this. Yeah. And especially with these knuckleheads who are like, I'm going to be in traffic accidentally, so you're going to host a talk show for an hour until I get there.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Right. Who's got questions? Discord.
Hey.
Call me.
Yeah. I think it's really great that you guys work as a team in this. Sometimes I wonder, like, what would it be like if I had a team member?
Doing anything
that likes Oreos
is easier when you have
that eats the other side of the cookie.
Yeah.
Actually, I love just the cookie part of it. I'll gladly give you the inside part any day.
Just whatever. I'm like, just give me the. Never mind.
I'll use a little spatula.
Thank you.
Scrape the little white patty off.
Nice. Tasty.
Gross.
On that note,
on the white patty note,
I think we should probably wrap this up.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
It's been a while. We've got messages and emails and phone calls backed up.
Carrier pigeons waiting over there.
There's an
tapping
owl.
at the door.
It has been a delight, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you for
coming on. Life.
Whatever this
of life.
Whatever this is.
I mean, I feel looking around the room, whether or not like your viewers out there, listeners, I am living in part of your dream, which is so cool.
It's also a little disturbing.
I don't know what that means.
I'm living in the dark part of your dream where the faceless man is chasing you.
Yeah.
That's me.
Well, I'll take it. That's nice. So thank you for having me.
If anybody wanted to watch you or drop you a line, where is it at?
You can find me on twitch.tv/KreenPananas. That's KREENPAAS.
Nope, it's PANANAS.
It'll I don't know where you guys are putting it.
I don't know if this is audio only.
Oh, that's right.
If this is audio only, you've screwed it up.
Yeah. Don't go to that other side. That's my spam site. KREENPANANAS. So like green bananas, except with a K and a P.
There it is.
And if you wanted to reach me, I'm on twitter.com/Tasi Alabastro. That's TASIALABASTRO.
Nice. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Our Talk Show.
Yep.
If you guys want to name it or come up with a name or give us some suggestions, or write down in the comments below if this is on YouTube, or send us a tweet at
Tasi Alabastro.
AMY
Please
don't send it to me.
I'm Thomas A. Cook.
Yep.
KOCH.
I'm Amy Puzia.
Twitter. That's going to do it for us. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
And that is our interview with Tasi Alabastro. Awesome content in there. My favorite part was,
my favorite part was when he said, "Yeah, Amy, you're right." Actually, he never said that. He never said that.
Again, that was before this whole shelter in place really came on. He is at home playing video games, streaming every day, supporting other people. Our main topic. He is out there. He actually has a Discord that he is set up to help theater people get through this, help them transition to online learning, training. We should really talk to him about that. But he is out there supporting really the community every day, and he's a great person to help support as well.
And if you're on our Twitch channel when he is streaming, we actually host him as well, because he's hilarious.
More often than not, when you go to our Twitch channel, you will see Tasi playing video games and chatting and weird pizza animations.
Cat pizzas,
Yeah, so all sorts of cool stuff. So that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Untitled Podcast. Thank you.
We're going to actually start drinking now.
For joining us on this untitled journey.